Okay, check the distance. Everything here. And by the way, here's the timer. 3.5的小九。3.5的小九。
3.5的小九。
好，那是 1 minute。
好。
No, 3:30. Okay, then you show the 1 minute. And then when it is 4:30, time's up.
Good morning, Professor Hu and my dear classmates. I'm William. As you can see, I got my ears pierced, right? When the first time my mom thought that I was wearing earrings, she said something which made me totally uncomfortable. Are you a girl? When the first time, I wondered why men can wear earrings, why we should just follow gender stereotypes. It doesn't make sense at all. As a result, I strongly believe that we have to remove deep-rooted gender stereotypes. There are 3 main points that I think is bad for us. These things restrict our personality traits, cause discrimination, and even limit career choices. So first, it's about personality traits, behavior, and appearance. If a man or a woman acts differently from how their gender is assumed to behave, they don't conform to the norm. For example, men are assumed to be tough and aggressive, and women are considered to be shy and passive. In my experience, I'll be punished if I cry when I was little. So it's just because male has to be strong. In addition, men can wear skirts or colors like pink, and women can wear too exposed. These things not only affect internal parts, but also external parts. And next is about the stereotypes cause discrimination and bullying. Men who don't act masculine are called sissies or assumed to be gay, and women who look like a woman will be considered lesbian, which is a very offensive stereotype in the LGBT community. Those who look or act differently will be bullied or isolated by the majority, and this result is in consequence of wrong conclusion. What's worse, those who are bullied will have psychological trauma or even suffer from depression. Finally, gender stereotypes limit career choices. They often affect the types of jobs men and women can get. For instance, women are supposed to have clean jobs such as teachers or nurses, and men are considered for jobs that require strength and leadership skills. This is unequal in talent of both genders. But many people seek out jobs ascribed to their gender to fit into expectations. However, these jobs not be the one that they really want to have. Besides, according to a survey, men earn more than women in 97% of jobs. In other words, men are paid more than women, which is because they are believed to be more competent. In conclusion, I'll try to point out the reason for removing the gender stereotypes. Once again, they restrict our personality traits, cause discrimination, and limit our personality and limit our career choices. All in all, I hope everyone can be who they want to be. So please, stop judging a person by his or her gender. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor Hu and my dear classmate. If you have a chance to work abroad, will you give it a shot? I know it's difficult for you to make such a decision like this, but today I'm going to tell you why you should step out of your comfort zone and have a job abroad, because you only live once. And here's my 3 opinions. You'll have a better salary and working quality, you'll have more opportunities, and you will have significant growth in yourself. And let's start it. First, imagine a life that you will have a better working quality and you'll get a higher salary that can afford you a better life. According to the statistics from 2017, the Organization of Economic and Cooperation Department, Taiwanese annual working hours is 2,034 hours per person, but we only graded for number 5 on this list. But you know what? The average annual working hours on the list is 1,763 hours per person. And as for the salary part, everyone knows that now undergraduates has a problem that we only get 22K after you graduate. That is the normal salary you can get for a month. But you know, that's not enough for us. Annual salary of undergraduates in Taiwan. In 2017 in Taiwan, average university students after they graduate, they can earn $8,700 US. But in America, undergraduates can earn $49,785 US in a year. Both, we are all undergraduates, but why can they earn that much money? But why can we only just earn a little bit money like that? Besides improve your working phases, you should also improve your personal phases. Working abroad can help broaden your horizon and also master your language skills. As an exchange student in America, I know that if you immerse yourself into a foreign language society, you can improve your English as much as you can and as quick as you can. Furthermore, you can talk and act like them. That is a good thing for you because you can blend into the culture as soon as possible. And another advantage you can get while living and working abroad is that you can learn the soft skills from the foreigners. They can communicate and have a good social networking with people. So this is what we should learn because Asian people are not that outgoing than the foreigners, and that is what we need to learn. And the third part is you will get more opportunities if you work abroad. First of all, you can boost your resume because the background of working abroad is a good thing for you, and you can pave the way for yourself to have better choices in your career life. Second, and then you can receive more opportunities because if you have the good social networking skills, more people will know you, and in fact, if you need a better job, no matter in Taiwan or other places, you'll get the chances to receive the opportunity if you want. In closing, I hope that I've told you why having a job abroad is good for you. Above, as I've mentioned, to have a better working situation and financial situation, and also you'll have a better growth in yourself, and last, you'll have better opportunities. And last but not least, you can also travel everywhere you want if you work abroad, and at the same time, you can get a nice income if you work abroad. Thank you.
Cousin Fu, and my dear classmates. My name is Mary Jean. Today, my name is Mary Jean. Many people fear that artificial intelligence will cause disaster and replace human jobs in the future. However, I strongly believe that artificial intelligence will create a new technological generation to human. And there are 3 points can support my opinion. First, it can make our life more convenient. Second, it can lead us to advanced future. Third, it can save our time. Now let me explain you how artificial intelligence make our life more convenient. For most of us, many people like to use Siri as our personal assistant. And Siri is one of the AI products. With it, our time and resources can be allocated perfectly. Second, let us think about our future. Nowadays, there's still a lot of dangerous jobs, like fixing oil spills. With artificial intelligence, people don't need to take a risk to earn money. Most of all, artificial intelligence can make impossible to possible. For example, automatic transportation will not just a dream. Moreover, people will never feel lonely because they have robot friends, which can read humans' mind and emotion. Also, it can make their human friends stay happy. As aging society is coming, there are a lot of elderly people who are laid off company. They can also use artificial intelligence to deal with this problem. Third, it can save our time. Artificial intelligence can do multiple tasks and complete it more precisely. It will not only increase efficiency, but also leaving humans stay free and give them second choice to attend to compassionate needs. In my viewpoint, artificial intelligence has more benefits than human can imagine. And as what I have mentioned before, it can make our life more convenient and it can lead us to advanced future. The last but the most important is it can save our time. Technology is connecting to human. I strongly urge people to use artificial intelligence in your daily life. Live in wisdom, in judicious life. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor and my classmate. My name is Danny. First, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you regard the escalator etiquette stand on the right and walk on the left a good habit or a bad habit? I strongly believe that standing right is a good habit. So today my topic is stand right on the escalator, and I'm going to tell you 3 reasons explaining why I consider standing right as a good manner. First, the most important, stand right will be a social behavior. The left side will be used by people to getting hungry. For example, in rush hour, most people are getting forward. People just stand on the escalator, blocking on it. And some people might be late for their work. They might miss an RT and they should wait for the next one. So stand right and giving them the left side for them to walk can prevent them from being late. And just think about if you are going to be late for your date or your class, and there's a way for you to walk and you don't need to wait in a line to get on the escalator. dangerous. Actually, fatalities and injuries on escalators are rare. And someone might ask you, if you want to walk, why don't you just take stairs? But in the MRT station beside the escalators, sometimes there are even no stairs for people to walk. Third, people said standing right on the escalator, putting too much pressure on one side of the escalator might let the escalator fail to work easier. But Zhuang Yingzhen, the director of TRTC Taipei Rapid Transit Corporation, he made an investigation and he collected and analyzed 20 years of data of escalator in the MRT station, and he found that walking and standing on one side of the escalator won't let any side of the escalator take more wear and tear. To sum up, I'm sure you not agree with me. Stand on the right and walk on the left. The escalator etiquette is absolutely a social behavior. As you have heard, the left side could be used by people who are in a rush, and it has less problem. It won't be dangerous if you be careful, and it won't let the escalator be out of order easier. So these are the reasons why I insist on standing right on the escalator. Make way for others, and there will also be times when you need a way to walk. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor Hu and my fellow classmates. 2 years ago, I deleted my Facebook profile for myself. And when I got to school, my friends came and asked me, "Hey Vivian, what happened? Are you okay?" And at that moment, I realized that Facebook has truly distorted our values and the way we interact with each other. So I strongly believe that all of you should try to get rid of Facebook. There are 3 main reasons that I sorted out and to support my main points. First, Facebook wastes our time. Second, Facebook invades our privacy. And finally, Facebook can lead to antisocial behavior. So let's start with the first point. First, Facebook wastes our time. According to a survey, people spend at least 20 minutes on Facebook each day. And most of us won't remember what we just saw on Facebook because there are too many real or unreal information. And also, once people addicted to Facebook, it causes distraction, and it's especially bad for students. And second, Facebook invades our privacy. According to some scholars, they said that Facebook is identical based because Facebook collect their users' basic information, and they track their data so that it is easy for some unknown company to use their names for some commercial purpose. And finally, Facebook can lead to antisocial behavior. Because nowadays, some students tend to browse the Facebook every day, and it seems that people like to post their selfies or their photos on Facebook. Not for likes, they post for likes, not being themselves. So
it causes some esteem problems. And also, Facebook can cause some negative aspect because nowadays people try and even likes to argue on Facebook because they don't have to face with each other. So, all in all, I hope I've shown the 3 main reasons that all of you should try to get rid of Facebook. First, Facebook wastes our time. Second, Facebook invades our privacy. And third, Facebook can lead to antisocial behavior. So, now I want everyone to think, what was your life before you downloaded Facebook? And what will happen if you try to get rid of Facebook? In fact, nothing will happen because you just don't need it. And without Facebook, maybe you'll notice how beautiful your life is. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor Wu and my dear classmates. My name is Tiger. Before my topic started, I have a simple question that people have been debating for. When you go out on the first date, should men pay? And I know most of you, the answer is no. You may think that it's a fair society nowadays, that it's not an obligation for men to do this. However, I have 3 good reasons to support my opinion of me believing that men should pay on their first date. It's a relative response, feedback to women. It's human nature, and also it can help improve your relationship. So first, let's talk about the preparation before the first date. For men, we don't have to prepare so many things. We can maybe use some hairspray and shave and find our fine clothes to make us look clean and neat. And that's all. The time, it only takes, I think, less than 15 minutes. As for women, they have a lot of things to do. They have to wear makeup, they have to do their hair, maybe some manicure, or sometimes a bit of contact lenses to make them look charming. The time and the money they spend are times of and as the old saying goes, time is money. In fact, they spend much more money than men do. Now let's talk about some scientific evidence. According to biology, 70% of human behavior are following their very own instinct. And men are born to protect their family, the women, the kids, and also the food. And when the woman receives the message of that the man can protect her, that she knows she can entrust herself to the man. So it's a way to convey the message of you are dependable, you are reliable. Finally, it's good for your relationship when you know that you are reliable and she will receive a message that you are fond of her, and it can make her happy and know that you two can go on for the next day. In short, I think you have all understood that why men should go on their first date, should pay on their first date. Furthermore, it's human nature that are just following their instinct. It's a way to prove that you are a capable man of all things. Certainly, I understand that it's not an absolute rule of dating. However, I strongly recommend you to follow my advice, especially gentlemen, for yourself and for your girl. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, Professor Wu and my classmates. I'm Annie. Before we start, I'd like to know how many of you have accessed social media when you were a teenager? Please raise your hand for me. Okay, thank you. Well, social media provides us an extremely convenient way to make friends. However, it also has a dark side, depends on how we use it. Therefore, I believe it is not good for teenagers to access social media. There are several reasons to support my opinion. It may cause health problems, affect concentration, or even become a weapon. According to the website kids.com, 93% of children aged 12 to 17 goes online regularly. They spend hours on social medias like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Imagine how pity it is to waste that amount of time in such a young age. Moreover, they ignore the fact that contacting with people face-to-face is more important than interacting with them on the screen. A study from University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine shows that the more time young adults spend on social media, the more likely they are to have sleeping problems, depression, and damaged mental health. Next, I'll take myself as an example to show how social media affects teens' concentration. I was addicted to social media when I was in high school. I was checking the updates all the time. It feels like all my life is on that tiny little screen. Thus, I wasn't paying attention on my schoolwork and I wasn't sleeping well either. I hadn't realized the problems until I failed the college entrance exam. That was when I realized I should get rid of this terrible habit. So I lived without my phone for 6 months just to prepare for my second chance. And that's why I'm standing right here, right now, talking to you. Last but not least, cyberbullying. Bullying does not happen in real life, but also the world in internet. A study shows that nearly 43% of children have been bullied online, and 1 in 4 of them have suffered more than once. I was also a victim of cyberbullying. The rumors of me was spread widely on social media when I was in high school, when I was 13 years old. My peers were mocking me in the lies for a long period of time. No matter how hard I try to explain, nobody truly cares about the truth anyways. Although it's been a long time, but the memory still reminds me of the terrible time, how hard it was to suffer from the bullying. In conclusion, I hope I'm clear enough to show that the fault of teenagers accessing social media. It may jeopardize a teenager's life by damaging it in many ways, like causing health problems, affecting concentration, and causing cyberbullying. I'm not saying it's definitely wrong for them to use it, but to avoid harm, I still urge against them using social media for a carefree social life, for a healthy teenage life. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor Wu and my dear fellows. I'm Lee. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. You might wonder why I'm mentioning, right? Well, now they got their college degrees. However, they're still remembered. They're still remembered to us, and the repetitions remains. Today, I'm going to dig into a topic, whether it's necessary to get into a college and have a college degree. I strongly believe that it's not that necessary. Next, I will tell more about it. The first reason is I think that the college doesn't help you and teach you what to think. Many schools in Taiwan have only one goal, that is get higher grades. Still, people encourage us to have wider thoughts when we were little. They only teach us to get more higher grades as we can. And that is one thing that we should be concerned nowadays. And we still need to think differently and act differently from now on. So if you are going to go into a college, I strongly suggest you that you should go abroad and you will probably change. The second reason is that the college doesn't guarantee you a safe and employed life. Living under this competent world, we need to be aware of all the things that's happening around us. The world is changing and we need to change too. Some people attend a college that doesn't guarantee them anything. You know what? College equals success. It's not the answer for everyone. According to American study, less than half of 50% college graduates that has a college degree working at a job that doesn't need a college degree. That is a serious situation for all of us. So it's not necessary and compulsory things to do nowadays. And the last reason is that the college is overrated. Many people are chasing their dreams and have their own dreams. However, their diploma doesn't guarantee them anything. For me, diploma doesn't mean anything. Your abilities value instead. So I'm here to tell you that it's really important to have your own values and develop your own abilities. So I hope that you guys can think more about it and have more reflection on it. I hope you are somehow enlightened by me by three reasons. First, the college doesn't teach you how to think. Second, the college doesn't guarantee you anything and doesn't guarantee you a safe and employed life. Third, the college is overrated. My suggestion for you is that go get a life and not to get yourself read. For your life is on your own and you don't need to count on others. This is what I want to share with you all today. Thank you.
before I start, let me ask you a question. Please raise your hand if you need to wear uniform when you are in high school. Good. Me too. I think that is our common memory in high school. However, I strongly believe that schools should abolish uniform. There are 3 good reasons to support my opinions. First, it's about human rights. Second, uniform is uncomfortable. Third, actually I think wearing a uniform is dangerous. So let's start from the human rights. Students have their own soul. Students have their own creativity. Students have their own unique style of dress. Without a doubt, that is one of the basic human rights in the world. Uniform makes students become similar and become easy to control and force them to obey the rules. I think that's definitely the symbolization of the authoritarian system. Second, uniform is uncomfortable. The quality is quite low and expensive. Moreover, there's a lot of provisions about wearing uniform. Like, I need to wear a leather shirt with a leather shoes with uniform. I need to wear sneakers when I wear a sportwear uniform. When winter, I need to wear long pants. When summer, I need to wear short pants, and I even can wear a skirt. Last but not least, the sizes are not complete. I never find a perfect size when I was young. Last, I want to explain why I think uniform is very dangerous. Imagine that if there is a mean girl who wants to rape me, when I wear my uniform, she can easily see my name, my school, my student ID, my class, and my number. How dangerous is it? My uniform betrayed me, right? And another point is the stereotype of the particular school. If I sit on the priority seat, it's okay for me. No one will say anything. If there's a student from 北一女、建中、景美、中山 high school, they will be dangerous. Maybe they will see their photo be posted on the PPT or news. How ridiculous is it? How unfair is it? So, in closing, I hope I have shown you why I strongly insist school should abolish uniform. For human rights, for comfort, for safety, and for freedom. Free our dress code, free our campus, free our dress code in the campus. Thank you.
Very interesting. Some of the reasons are funny. Are you kidding?
Good morning, my Professor Hu and my dear classmates. My name is Sunny, and today I'm going to talk about that we should stand or walk on the escalator. I think most of the people had a stereotype that we should stand on the right of the escalator and walk on the left of the escalator. But exactly this rule had already been cancelled almost 10 years ago. And now people promote that we should stand two sides on the escalator. And I strongly and I strongly advise you do that too. For two reasons to support my opinion. The first is for the flow rate increase. The second is for our safety. First, let's talk about the flow rate first. The study has shown that standing two sides on the escalator is more higher than only stand on the one side. And London had made experiments for standing two sides on the escalator for 3 weeks in Holborn Station. And the results shows that it increased 27% of the flow rate. It means that when people standing one side on the escalator, 81.25 people every minute, and when people standing two sides on the escalator, the flow rate increased to 112.5 people in every minute. And next, we're talking about the safety. As I know, there are 2 incidents that people's scalp roll into the escalator. The one happens in 2004. There are people walking on the escalator and 4 people fell, and 1 people's scalp rolled inside, and blood everywhere. Another incident happens on my brother and my sister. In one Christmas day, my brother and my sister went to Banqiao to sew the Christmas tree. And when they are ready to go back home and standing on the escalator, my brother said the escalator shook once, and many people fell, and 1 woman's scalp rolled inside again. And also my brother's leg got hurt, but not too seriously. We cannot know what might happen next, so I strongly urge you to stand on the escalator and hold tight. In closing, I think I have told you why not to walk on the escalator. As you have heard, it's not only increase the flow rate and also more safety. For our safety and for changing the environment of amortization and translation, I hope you can carefully consider my opinion. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor Hu and my dear classmates. I'm William. Before I start my presentation, I want to ask everyone a question. Are you satisfied with the general education courses? 通识教育. If you are, please raise your hand. Yes. I do think that most other people feel negative with it, and so do I. So today, I'm going to give my points and the reason about why general education courses should be abolished. First is our tuition. Second, the course selection system. And last, the practicality. So now let's talk about tuition course. We apply language students, we pay approximately $43,000 NT dollars for our tuition each semester. However, we did not realize the content of the general education courses before we took it. And after taking these classes, the student found out that actually these courses is not related to our department and also not related to our future career. Our parents spare no effort to save their money for paying our tuition. And think about it, they are paying their tuition on these courses. I do think it is unreasonable, isn't it? So the next point is the course selection system. The general education courses can be concluded into two parts. First, the family life education and the art and life courses. It is the required courses. So it means that we have to take these classes before we graduate. Or we can say in another way, we're being forced to study and to learn what we don't like. And second, the liberal art. We have to take those credit and take this kind of courses before we graduated. But actually, there is a really serious problem. The problem is there are so many students, some of the students, they cannot snatch these courses before they graduated. And at last, they did not have enough credit before they graduated. So what happened? They deferred graduation. I do think that it is such a tragedy, isn't it? So now let's talk about the practicality. Based on the history, the general education courses is designed for strengthening all of area skills for our students. But due to the education system in Taiwan and the quality of teacher, it's become a nightmare for us. I do think all of our experience can tell it. I'll take myself for example. If I want to excel myself in business skills or English communication skills, why do I want to spend time and money on learning art courses or law courses? I do think that this is really unreasonable, isn't it? So to sum up, I hope that these 3 points have given you a good reason that why the general education courses should be abolished. First, our precious tuition. And second, the unreasonable course selection system. And last, the practicality of these classes. We students, we have our responsibility to study. And we have the right to learn what we are interested in and prepare for our future career. This is our college life. And this is our tuition. We should make sure that it is all worth. And we should learn what's passion and learn what's freedom. So now, let's take action to abolish the general education system. Thank you.
Good morning, Professor Hu and my dear classmates. I'm Doris. In our culture, to grade students seems very frequent and common. The teacher grades to determine the quality of the student, the school grades to determine whether the student passed or not. And parents also ask for high grades to determine, so the children can become their pride. However, in my opinion, teachers should not grade students, and there should not be a scoring system in our society. There are 3 good reasons to support my opinion. Grading makes people be labeled, grading affects people's self-evaluation, and grading limits people's ability. So first, let's talk about the labeling. I believe that you have the similar situations in your school life. That is, teacher in class will be particularly tolerant for those students with good grades, Conversely, the student with poor grades will be particularly pay attention to. For example, the same situations of sleeping and chatting in class, those students with high grades will be ignored, but the student with poor grades will be blamed or punished. And the teacher usually says, "Why don't you learn more about those good students?" However, are grades really the standard for distinguishing good or bad students? Just as in our society, it is easy to get into college. But how many students can really be outstanding at work? So what I can say for sure is that the boundary between good and bad student is definitely not based on grade. Then let's talk about the self-evaluation part. According to the survey, up to 2/3 of students are slightly depressed, and 10% of them are even higher risk groups of depression. In other words, 1 out of every 10 students is clearly depression, and the biggest cause of it is academic pressure. This is a long-term bullying we have suffered from grading. Not only the low-scoring students be ridiculed by high-scoring students, but also the high-scoring students need to face the pressure of grading at the same time. So, should this kind of scoring system really need in our society? I don't think so. Finally, the last reasons about why I disagree grading people is because grading limits people's ability. When people, as mentioned above, when people used to being graded, they will forget to communicate with their leaders, and so students are care about to get high grades easily. They perhaps will cheat for grades. When on the other hand, when people used to being graded, they will forget how to communicate with their leader. And to sum up, I hope you have shown why I disagree grading people. As you have heard today, grading makes people be labeled, grading affects people's self-evaluation and limits people's ability. I fully understand it can be difficult to have a change in our society. However, I strongly hope you to consider my argument about why we should not grading people. Thank you.